you want to improve your lower body mobility, this one simple position can do wonders for your functional life, whether you're a parent, whether you're an athlete, or whether you're just an everyday working person that wants to improve their posture. In this video, we are returning to our roots and visiting the Primal squat. As you can see here, this is a Primal squat. Primal squat is one of the best ways to improve your lower body mobility and athleticism. So the Primal squat really is just returning to our roots. Our ancestors used to sit like this. Our ancestors used to rest like this. Primal squat is you in full range of motion of ankle flexion, knee flexion, and hip flexion. This range of motion is vital for any kind of athletic movement or any kind of human movement, whether you're walking, squatting down, going to sit, going to grab something off the floor, or running, or jumping. This is very important. My wife, her grandpa, our grandpa Al, he is 90. He can still sit in a Primal squat. The way I found this out, we were going on a honeymoon road trip, and one of the fuses in our car that we were gonna tow from our RV wasn't working properly. So in order to, I didn't even know what the problem was, but he knew exactly what it was since he's an engineer. His first thing, he went to our car and he went from a standing position, squatted down in this position, rested comfortably just like this, and tweaking the fuses, moving around different things. He was down there probably for like 10 minutes just in this position. And then he stood right back up as if it was nothing. This is someone that's 90-something years old, still active, still has his wits about him. I think it goes to show that the Primal squat is not something that you do when just you're a baby or when you're just an athlete or you're capable and you're younger. It's for everybody in every walk of life. Here are 3 main reasons why you should find yourself in a Primal squat every day. Number 1, it improves your posture. So just by sitting in this position, you're improving your posture because 1, you're decompressing your spine. By sitting in this position, your hips are relaxed down low. I'm stretching my spine out especially while I sit tall, but you can even relax into this position. Maybe you're texting, maybe you're doing something down here, maybe you're playing with your kid. All of that, your spine is still lengthening more than it would when you're standing, and it's compressed in that curve. So you allow for spinal decompression. Number 2, you're strengthening all the muscles that support your spine. So all along the lumbar, all along the thoracic, chest area, and even up in the neck area, just by you sitting in a nice posture, nice Primal squat, you're lengthening your spine and you're strengthening the muscles that support your spine. The second big reason why you should find yourself in a Primal squat every single day is because, again, it opens up your knees, hips, and your ankles to greater flexibility and range of motion just by you sitting here. An increased range of motion is very important for the health and longevity of not just your muscles, but also your joints and tendons. When you first sit in a Primal squat, if you haven't done it in years or it's been a while, it's not gonna be the most comfortable thing. We'll show you modifications later, but once you continue to sit in this position, the tendons and joints are starting to strengthen, and it takes more time than muscle to build that kind of deep strength of your tendons and ligaments. So by finding yourself in a Primal squat every day, you're not only strengthening and releasing your spine, but you're also opening up your hips, ankles, and knees to greater possibilities. More range of motion equals more room to improve your strength. It equals being more functional and being able to move more freely through your daily life. And also it helps your body to be more at ease, so you're not so tight and tense and you get into certain situations and you tweak something so easily. By having open hips and a nice long and strong spine, you're way ahead of the game. Last but not least, number 3 reason why this is so important to find yourself in this position every day is because it improves your ability to digest your food. This position right here is very optimal with our knees above our hips to digest and move food through our body in the most efficient manner. In fact, many people around the world still eat down here, and many people around the world use the bathroom down here in this position. This alignment is optimal for digestion and elimination. So when I'm in a Primal squat, I might start standing, In an ideal world, you want your toes facing forward, but this is a resting position. So if your toes aren't facing forward, maybe a little bit out, maybe about 15 degrees out is okay. So from this position, feet just outside of my hips, I find that position. I want to make sure my heels are down, and when they're not up here, if they're up, we have modification, we'll show you in a sec. So I want to be in my heels, and then from that position, my knees, we make sure that our knees aren't collapsing in. So either knees aligned right over the toes, or you can even use your elbows to practice keeping your knees out. If your knees are going over your toes a little bit, that's okay. We just don't want the heels coming up. Your spine doesn't need to be completely vertical. It's okay to practice your good posture. You'll feel this along your lower back, the muscles working to stabilize this position. But this, again, is a resting position. So even if you're down here, that's totally okay. We just want to make sure that we're in a resting position, knees aren't collapsed in, we are rooted to the floor. And lastly, we want our hips as low as they can be, comfortably. So if you have the range of motion and you can sit on your heels, then feel free to drop your hips as low as they can be. A good way to start things off is to find some kind of table or surface. What you're gonna do is plant your hands, get your base that you think you'd be in your primal squat. Toes could be out just a little bit if you'd like. Holding onto that surface, go as low as you can comfortably. If it's here, guess what? All your pressure's not just in your legs, so you don't have to squat. I'm holding this, finding a nice counterbalance to where I'm not doing too much work, but I can feel the mobility. And in time, I can go lower. And in time, I don't need it at all. For many people, sitting in a primal squat with perfect form for long periods of time is not very realistic in the very beginning. And a lot of times, your heels may want to just come up. So to fix this, or even just to make your primal squat, if you are able to put your heels down, but it's a real big struggle, something to ease that pain and increase your mobility is to add something under your heels. What I've done, I have a little blanket that I'm gonna use. I rolled it up, so it's pretty, it's about 3 inches thick. You can go higher or less. If you're trying to improve and you're trying to make progress, then try to use less of a wedge every time. You'll see once you put that object under your heels, it's so much easier to sit like this. So there's not so much of a demand of you being so low. Now you're raised up a little bit, but your hips are still low as they can be, and it feels a lot better. So trying this first, and then eventually practicing without it. If this position is starting to feel comfortable for you, or it already is comfortable for you, you can do a little bit more exploring through the following moves. One move, which is one of my favorites for me and my clients. Put the elbows right inside the knees. Do your best to keep good form. And 10 times, I press my elbows away without too much force, just enough to get them open comfortably. 10 times, and then on the 10th rep, I hold it open for 10 seconds. You can shake it out, you can get up, shake it out if you need to before you do the next part. So that's one thing you can do, just knee openers. Another one is single arm knee openers, single leg knee openers. So I've dropped this opposite armpit kind of into that knee area. So that knee's right in my armpit. I grab this hand and I press away as much as I can. As you notice, my elbow is not all the way straight. This is still work in progress for myself as well. So I'm here trying to keep that heel down, pressing away 10 times, 10-second hold on number 10, switch sides. Again, trying to keep that heel down. That's another one you can try. And a third one that I really like is the spinal opener, spinal twist. So again, I'm really sinking this shoulder down inside of my knee, my opposite knee. This hand, this moving hand, I start at the wrist. I open up as much as I can towards the sky. I sink my whole chest down and come back. So we do 10 on each side, 10-second hold on number 10, and then you switch sides. There are many reasons why the primal squat should become a part of your everyday lifestyle. You can do many everyday things from this position. You don't need to worry about how long you sit in primal squat. What's most important is that you visit it throughout your day. You'll soon notice how comfortable it feels to be in a primal squat position throughout your day. Many of the solutions to our health problems today lie in the roots of our ancestors. For more valuable and practical holistic content, consider subscribing to the Solely Fit channel. Have a great day.